You know that feeling when you're swiping on a dating app, totally on autopilot, and suddenly you realize you've been at it for 40 minutes, your thumb hurts, and you feel weirdly more alone than when you started? Or picture this, you finally match with someone, you're excited, you plan a date, you spend money on drinks, Uber, maybe new clothes, and afterward you're walking home thinking, how did I just spend $120 to feel this rejected? There's this quiet anxiety that creeps in with modern dating, this mix of financial stress, emotional burnout, and this low-key feeling of being trapped in an endless loop of swiping, spending, and hoping. And nobody really talks about the money side of it. The emotional interest you're paying on every dinner, every premium subscription, every let me just grab one more outfit so I feel confident. But here's the counterintuitive thing. The real dating app trap isn't just about love or rejection. It's about how this whole system reshapes your relationship with money, your self-worth, and your future freedom using the exact same psychological mechanisms that make casinos billions of dollars. And once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you can actually use it as a turning point, not a life sentence. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time thinking about money. Specifically, how billion-dollar companies manipulate our brains into spending it while promising us connection. If you're someone who wants to understand the real psychological and financial cost of modern dating instead of just swiping your way into financial anxiety, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up saving you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of emotional damage. Most financial gurus will tell you to cut out lattes, cook at home, and stop buying dumb stuff if you want to get ahead. They'll talk about credit cards, housing, car payments, but almost none of them talk about the money you're bleeding in your search for connection. The conventional wisdom says dating apps are basically free, or at worst, just a few drinks here and there. You're told that's just the cost of dating, it's normal, it's what everyone does. But here's the thing they're missing completely. The dating app industry isn't selling you a service. They're selling you hope on a subscription model, and they've engineered their entire business to keep you paying while never quite delivering on that promise. These companies have teams of behavioral psychologists and data scientists whose entire job is to keep you engaged with the platform, not to get you off it by finding lasting love. Think about that for a second. If everyone who used dating apps immediately found their perfect match and deleted the app, these companies would collapse overnight. Their entire revenue model depends on your continued engagement, which means your continued single status. So here's the core idea for this whole video, and I want you to really sit with this. The dating app trap is when the search for connection slowly turns into a subscription-based lifestyle, where you spend more and more money chasing shorter and shorter hits of validation instead of building long-term emotional and financial stability. This matters way more than it sounds, psychologically, because every part of this system is designed to keep you in what's basically emotional and financial microtransactions. Little dopamine hits, new matches, new chats, new dates that feel like progress but rarely move you closer to real, secure connection. Think of it like a casino, and I mean this literally. Research from behavioral economists shows that dating apps use something called intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that makes slot machines so addictive. You get just enough matches, just enough conversations, just enough almost connections to keep you believing that the next swipe, the next boost, the next premium feature will be the one that works. Your brain releases dopamine every time you get a match, but it's never quite enough to satisfy you, so you keep coming back for more. Each swipe comes with hidden costs: time, emotional energy, grooming, transport, drinks, clothes. It's like pouring tiny amounts of water out of a bucket all day. You don't notice it until the bucket's almost empty. The turning point comes when you realize this isn't about demonizing dating or apps. It's about recognizing the pattern and saying, I want out of this emotional subscription model. I want walking away money. I want breathing room. Let's break down what actually happens to your brain and your bank account when you're trapped in this cycle. Because there are several massive transformations that most people never connect to their dating life. When you don't have financial breathing room and you're also constantly dating, your brain operates in this weird double survival mode. You're stressed about money and you're stressed about connection. Research on scarcity by Sindel Mullainathan shows that when your brain feels like you don't have enough, whether that's money, time, or love, it literally narrows your focus. You tunnel. You make short-term decisions. You're more impulsive. Let me give you an example. You've had a long week, your account balance is lower than you'd like, but you're feeling lonely. You get a match. They want to grab drinks at a place that's honestly a little pricier than you're comfortable with. Survival mode brain kicks in. If I say no, I might miss my chance. I'll just figure the money out later. So you go. You Uber there and back. You pay for a round or two because you want to seem generous. The next morning, you're not just tired, you're anxious. According to the Federal Reserve's 2023 Economic Wellbeing Report, 37% of adults can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing. When that's your baseline and you're burning $80, $150 a night on maybe the like me, your nervous system is basically doing fire drills constantly. The punchline? You're trying to use dating to feel better, but the way you're dating is actually increasing the financial stress that makes everything feel worse. When you're deep in the dating app world, you start to become a person who dates rather than a person who's building a life. Your brain doesn't like conflict between I should save and I'm going out again. So it resolves the tension by upgrading the story. This is who I am. I'm just living life. I'll worry about savings later. Before this identity shift, you might see money as a tool. After it, money becomes part of your performance. When you start shifting your identity to I'm the kind of person who builds both emotional and financial security, the whole dating equation changes. You're not auditioning anymore. You're inviting people into an already solid life. In survival mode, the questions sound like, will they like me? Will I be alone if I say no? In growth mode, the question shifts to, is this person aligned with the life I'm building? Can I date in a way that doesn't sabotage my future self? Money doesn't just pay for dates. It changes who you are on the date and what you're willing to tolerate. When your time and money are constantly going into the dating churn, your brain gets trained to recognize only one kind of opportunity: romantic. Everything else gets whatever scraps of energy are left. If you're constantly thinking about who to text back and what to wear, that's mental bandwidth you're not using to notice career opportunities, skill building chances, or even better ways to meet people organically. Dating app culture normalizes this expectation that everyone is always available and always out. So you say yes to more nights out than you can comfortably afford. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American spends around $3,600 a year on food away from home. Add alcohol, transportation, grooming, outfits, and suddenly, just being social is a multi-thousand-dollar lifestyle that affects your energy at work and your long-term net worth. But here's where most people mess this up. They either go to one extreme or the other. The YOLO daters tell themselves you can't put a price on love and use that as permission for constant, unplanned spending. The consequence? Quiet, creeping financial stress. On the other side, the shame spiral people realize how much they've been spending and swing hard the other way. I'm never going out again. You isolate, feel lonely, eventually re-download the apps, and the cycle starts over with extra shame. Both approaches miss the point. The trap is thinking this is about willpower or morality. The game is designed this way. You didn't design this, but you are responsible for how you navigate it. So let's reframe this completely. This isn't about spend less on dates. This is about becoming the type of person who can both enjoy connection now and protect their future freedom. Instead of seeing dating as a series of one-off events you have to afford, start seeing it as part of your lifestyle portfolio, just like housing, food, and health. Every $80 bar tab isn't just $80, it's opportunity cost, this round of drinks, or a chunk of your emergency fund. Challenge the cultural script for a second. When experiences means 40 forgettable first dates, Is that really the experience your future self would choose? Imagine if your script was, I'm the kind of person who dates in alignment with my values and my goals. Let's do a reality check with some math. And I promise this isn't to make you feel bad, it's to make the invisible visible. Say you're spending something like this each month. $30 on premium app subscriptions, $120 on dates, two $60 nights, very normal in most cities, $60 on ride shares related to dating, $40 on date-related grooming, outfits, etc. That's $250 a month or $3,000 a year. Over 5 years, that's $15,000, enough for a used car paid in cash or a fully funded emergency fund. According to Bankrate's 2023 survey, 57% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency with savings. Now compare two scenarios over 10 years. You spend the full $250 a month in the dating churn. You cap dating at $125 a month and invest the other $125 at 7% annual return. Let me walk through this calculation step by step. Text monthly investment, text $125. Text annual investment, $125 times 12 bucks, $1,500. Text using compound interest formula, A-dec P times frac X1 plus R N1 1 hard R dollars. A frac 07 A 10 $1,725. Over 10 years, scenario 2 puts you ahead by over $20,000. That's not life-changing by itself, but combine that with similar shifts in other categories, and now we're talking serious freedom. That's paying off student loans faster, wiping out credit card debt, or cutting years off how long you have to stay in a job you hate. So where does this leave you? The core message isn't dating apps are evil or never spend money on love. It's this. The real trap is letting a system designed to keep you swiping also quietly dictate your spending, your stress levels, and your self-worth, without you ever stepping back to ask, is this actually working for me? You don't have to quit dating or become a hermit. What you can do is decide, I'm done with unconscious dating. I'm done paying emotional and financial interest on nights that don't move my life forward. You can set an actual dating budget. You can choose lower cost ways to connect that are often more authentic anyway. You can redirect just a slice of that dating money into your future self. Will this make you rich overnight? No. Will it magically summon your soulmate? Also no. But it will do something better. It will turn you into the kind of person who dates from a place of security instead of scarcity. Someone who can say no without panic, yes without self-betrayal, and I'm good on my own and actually mean it. Here's the empowering choice in front of you. You can keep treating your dating life like a subscription that auto-renews every month. Or you can hit pause, look at the emotional and financial fine print, and redesign it in a way that actually serves you. One path keeps you swiping and spending and hoping. The other builds a life where love is a bonus, not a bailout. You already took the first step by watching this and being willing to think differently. The next step? Decide what kind of person you want to be with money and with love, and let every date, every dollar, and every swipe flow from that identity. That's where the real game changer happens.